Okay, so I think we probably head back up here. Just ignore the fact that we weren't really entirely in that elevator when it started going up. Potential nightmare fuel, but yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We're a Spectre, right? Okay, so what I think for a second. Okay, I saw something that looked like it might have been something that was going to give us a codex entry, but I'm pretty sure it was just Navigator Presley, so I think we're good there. But let's just take a quick peek at our assignments and make a decision as to which mission we want to go after next. Now, we do, of course, still have a lot of things listed in our assignments here, but a lot of them are the more passive things that just sort of happen as you're going about your typical exploration, like the Prothean data disks and League or signs of battle, League medallions, Slayer and ID tags, valuable minerals, and what have you. So the list is a little deceptively long here, and So what I was thinking was that perhaps we go for, where was it? How about either the mission we were just talking to recently with Garrus, finding Dr. Salian, definitely something we're going to want to do. That's very high priority. Doesn't necessarily need to be right away, but it's high on the list. The other one would be, oh, hold on. The Asari diplomacy with Nisana Dantius, who gave us the mission back in the Citadel, but requires that we go out and find her sister, who's in the Macedon system in the Artemis Tau cluster. Yeah, because we were saying we were in the Artemis Tau cluster before, and in some ways we would like to be able to write that one off and say, yeah, been there, done that, and put a big check mark next to it. So, in fact, I didn't even travel there already. Yeah, we're still in a very familiar place. Still technically on the moon. So I think we checked the asteroid belt here, but just in case we didn't, do a quick circle around, but I think we're in the clear. That'd be a little bit strange if, you know, like right next to Earth if we hadn't located all the important stuff. So, of course, part of the biggest things in propelling humans to the galactic stage was finding all this Prothean technology on Mars. But anyways, enough of the local cluster. Let's head over to Artemis Tau again. And, okay, so we've done... Knossos is where Therum was. Sparta, I believe, is a place we also did a mission or two. We have Athens, and we have... Yeah, Macedon is the place where this mission is supposed to be. So let's check it out. Alright, so let's take a look. In fact, we may have already explored this area a bit. Let's see. Does this sound familiar at all? Fargalus is a standard hydrogen-helium gas giant with an abundance of airborne hydrocarbons. And we can tell based on if there's we don't see anything that is giving us any resources of any variety. Or if we find anything like this, then that would be probably a good indication that we have not yet checked out this location. And again, this is part of the reason why I think it's such a big deal, or at least it's so convenient, so much easier to stay organized if you make a point of trying to do all there is to do in a given cluster at one time, and that way, you know, there isn't this question mark of, well, I know we did some of Artemis Tau, but have we done all of it? But anyways, this metallic asteroid... Oh, hold on though. It is a metal-rich asteroid. Normally, these would be, well, scannable for those resources we were talking about, except that we see that despite us finding this here, it does not actually have anything of note on it. So I think these do disappear. Any objects that you find in asteroid belts whenever you leave, and even if you return later to a given solar system. So I think that actually, well, may prove exactly the opposite of what I was thinking. That we have in fact been here, because although we did have to rediscover this spot because it didn't have any resources, that would suggest that we found them on a previous occasion. And like I said, this just disappears whenever you leave the system, even if you come back to it later. Patavig does not have any resources either. I mean, there's normally there'd be at least one thing, right? This doesn't have anything either on Portland. So yeah, I think we have been here before, because Sharjila will be the place we're looking to go, because yes, it does have a level 1 pressure hazard, which we were talking about a little bit before, and I was saying now, maybe that would be reason for us to delay going here a little bit, because what that means is that when you are outside on the uncharted world, when there is any type of hazard, you will slowly take, or well, you'll have a little bar that fills up, and the longer you're outside, the more that bar fills. Once it does reach full, then you start taking some damage over time. So it is risky going out and exploring such a location. It means that, you ask, Vids, how do you avoid taking the damage then? So if you're in the Mako is environmentally sealed, and so in that case, you're not filling that meter and you're not taking any damage whenever you're in the Mako, and you can also reset that meter whenever you head back into the Mako. So it means best way of exploring is usually just staying close to the Mako, and then, when you do find something that you want to get out and look around to do, then you just head back into Mako relatively quickly. So level 1 means that obviously it doesn't fill that quickly. There are a few locations where there's a level 2 hazard, in which case, yes, it does in fact fill that meter more quickly, and therefore the area is more dangerous. There are actually, as I may have mentioned previously, or I might have just alluded to this, but part of the reason why I was thinking that we would wait to come here is because there are actually some armors that you can get from a specific manufacturer that will completely negate level 1 hazards and will reduce the pace at which level 2 hazards fill that meter. So basically, I don't know if it's actually a level 2 hazard functionally becomes a level 1 hazard, but it might be something along those lines. That would kind of make sense, because basically what it does is it turns a level 1 hazard into a level 0 hazard, and nothing happens. So maybe that's the way it works, kind of, sort of. But I don't think have any of those armors right now, so that means we unfortunately don't have that luxury. I think it's still, it's not a big enough hurdle to prevent us or to dissuade us from dropping down right now. It would have been convenient, but I think we'll live with it. Famous last words. Okay, so we do, of course, need to pick a team here, and we still have not yet gotten the achievements for doing 5 missions with Rex or Garrus, and they also do balance out our squad quite well, so I do think that makes a lot of sense here. And Rex's in particular, I'm a big fan of his achievement, because, I mean, I've alluded to it before, how, or mentioned it, but not spoken much about the specifics in terms of what the effects of those achievements are. But they do give you bonuses, and that's why I've put so much emphasis on making a point of getting them early and from as many people as we can get. So in the case of, let's see, Ashley, I think it's 10% damage reduction, which is, I mean, it's not a huge number, but that's pretty sweet to just have a universal 10% damage reduction. Kaden, I think it's throw recharge speed and one other ability as well. Liara is recharge speed for barrier and stasis, which is not super relevant for us yet, but will eventually be relevant, and we do already have all 3 of these achievements. Rex is life regeneration. I think it's 1 per second, which isn't a ton, but as I was saying when we were talking about armor upgrades previously, just having some health regeneration is very helpful, so that way you don't constantly need to be using Metagel anytime you take any damage, because, well, there's usually not many other forms of life regeneration. So even if it's a small amount, just getting some is quite useful, especially early on. 1 life regeneration, it's not bad when our maximum life isn't terribly high. Garrus is recharge speed for damping and might be overload or sabotage, and then Tally is recharge speed for AI hacking, which we don't have because that's might only be available to engineers. And one of the other tech abilities, probably one of the ones that I wasn't sure as to whether it was Garrus or Tally. So these are the only two we don't have at this stage, but we certainly would like to get, I think, both of them. So let's lock in here. Okay, so apparently we have also earned an achievement for perhaps exploring a certain number of uncharted worlds. That might be it. So there you see in the bottom right corner, we do have a level 1 hazard. So like I said, that means we will, in fact, I could jump out here for a second. Hold on. Do we actually have that armor on? And did I not realize it? Let's see. Because I did not see any bar filling up here. Let's see. So, we could get the description. Remind me what... Here it is. No, that's not it. Of the manufacturer is what we're looking for. Oh, RB. So... LCOS Combine, a bolus manufacturer based in the Terminus systems. The LCOS Combine produces less expensive versions of the items carried by high-end manufacturers. Functional yet affordable armor, weapons, and omni-tools are all available from the LCOS Combine. Basically means they're bad. So it's definitely not them. Oh, this is it. It's coming from Garrus, I believe. Oh wait, no, that's also. Oh, I'm looking at the one that we don't have equipped. Hold on. I'm pretty sure it's Devlon here for Garrus. Devlon Industries is best known for producing basic armor models that can withstand a variety of environmental extremes, such as cold, heat, or toxic exposure. They also market a complete line of military-grade weapons. So yes, we do in fact, with this armor that Garrus is currently wearing, have immunity to level 1 statuses. So I was saying how I wasn't sure if we had them or not, any of those armors, but in fact we do. So I mean, if we could take off the Garrus armor real quick, just to show you what happens in that case. But that is actually quite convenient. So, let's see. Let's go Garrus. Just throw on a different armor for you real quick, assuming we have another. Although, yeah, we do. Okay. So, although, tell you what, the other armor that he has is also from Devlon Industries. So, actually, Garrus, unless we just omnigelled your only armor, which I'm not even sure if we can do that, so that you don't have any armor on at all, then we would see that there would be a meter filling up. But, no, as it turns out, Garrus is, he's looking out for us. He's looking out for us. He's, making sure that we do not take any damage from that. But anyways, we do have some skill points we can spend here. So we have some for Rex, and let's just double check. We're fine. Garrus is fine as well. Why does Rex have some, but Garrus didn't? I thought we were basically using these two in tandem with one another most recently, but perhaps not. So, let's see. In terms of what we want from you, Rex. So, stasis is definitely something that we are going to focus on ourselves. It's going to take us a little while to get all those upgrades going, but for that reason, perhaps not so necessary coming from you. Throw, I mean, it's not a bad idea. We do have it fairly highly upgraded ourselves, but just to give you some more crowd control, so that we're not the only ones doing it. I mean, that is definitely our specialty. But if we are going to find ourselves going with the us plus Garrus plus Rex team often, which I think is certainly a possibility, because like we were saying before, it does balance things out, at least theoretically, from a combat, tech, and biotic standpoint, then it would be nice to have it such that we aren't relying on us exclusively to do all the crowd controlling. So, you know, I mean, he has it, but it's not. The thing is, with the force, you see here that 600 Newton, 650, 700, so on and so forth. What that does is it, you know, you might be asking yourself, well, I mean, that's a pretty abstract number. How am I supposed to get a sense as to what the significance of this arbitrary number of newtons means? Basically, it will knock people, I don't know if it's actually further, but most significantly, the higher the number here, the bigger the enemies you can actually knock away with throw, or in the case of lift, and so on and so forth. So that means that if you want to throw the biggest and baddest of enemies, then fully maximized throw or lift is necessary. So that's why, for us, I wanted to get lift maximized so that we can lift basically anyone or anything. Throw is, well, it's not all the way up there, it's fairly high, so means that we should be able to throw most mid-level or mid-sized enemies, but anything huge, we're not going to be able to do it. So, it's solid, but it's not amazing, at least in the case of throw. For lift, we're much better off. Then, the thing is, the reason why it might be worth doing that a bit with Rex is because that's not really Garrus's thing at all. So, I mean, to a certain extent, you could make the case that, you know, damping to prevent enemies from using their special abilities, and even sabotage to prevent people from using their weapons for a little bit is, that's not a terrible thing to do. It's sort of crowd control. It's more so just like general debuffs. But, you know, helps us when we are getting overrun by enemies is maybe a more general way of putting it, which I suppose is more or less synonymous with crowd control. But, I mean, Garrus is basically already doing quite alright from a damage standpoint, so he's definitely our most direct form of damage with this team. And Rex can certainly still pack a punch, but I think maybe... how significant is more of this? Tons of melee damage, though. Tons of melee damage. That's not a bad thing, but I'm not sure we need that much more of that. So it starts to get some pretty significant diminishing returns here, because at least initially I was eyeing the life regeneration, and that's most significant with the first level. So, let's see, if we go... I mean, like, assault rifles, advanced overkill, might be worth it just so that we get this upgraded version, and then from there on out, we might start throwing things into throw, or maybe a few more points in Battle Master. Let's go that route. I think we do this, and then Rex, we can pretty safely say you're more or less done with that. Oh, we were also looking at Master Immunity, though, weren't we? Hold on. On second thought, let's undo that real quick. I think we'd like to do this instead. So, yeah, because that basically more or less makes you immune to damage. 90%, it's not much that's going to kill you. So that's pretty sweet. Then, that does mean we certainly have less room for upgrading assault rifles. So, why don't we... how much, just from a damage standpoint, does this give us? It gives us additional 2% damage and 2% accuracy. It's not terribly inspiring. I think... let's start throwing in a few more points here. And, you know, if we can get a chunk of 3, that'd be great to get to advanced overkill, but at least as of right now, that's not so feasible. So, other thing, let's take a look at our map here just to see what we have going on. And we have some debris of some variety there, stronghold, and then some kind of anomaly. So this appears to be the place where we're expecting to run into the actual quest. There are, of course, potentially other things in this area that we don't know about because they aren't appearing on our map. So let's maybe just start in this corner and we'll work our way counterclockwise around, I suppose? Something like that. Other thing worth noting, I'll pop out real quick just to show this, but so you see the level 1 hazard in the bottom right corner, and like I said, that would normally fill a meter for how much of a risk that hazard is, and what the meter fills, we start taking damage. But, like we said, Garrus has the armor that prevents us from taking any damage from the level 1 hazard, and having one person in your party is enough to protect your entire party. Counterintuitive as that might be. So we don't have it, I don't know if Rex has it, but Garrus is quite literally just carrying the team in that sense right now. So well done, Garrus. But anyways, let's head back in this general direction, and of course I don't necessarily know if we're going to find anything over here, but just for the sake of being thorough, well, actually, as it turns out, It appears as though we will find at least something over in this direction. So that's a good sign. Yeah, this is the edge of the world here. Start to see that red coming in. So, where exactly is it? Is it that little thing at the peak of this? No, it's going to be a little bit further still. That's got to be it. Hold on, Mako. Hold on. Magnesium. Lovely. So yeah, this is one of the situations where, you know, you'd want to come out of your Mako in order to scan this stuff, and you'd be at risk of taking damage from the hazard in the process, so you want to make this quick. But, fortunately, we got all the time in the world here. Okay, and magnesium collected.
Let's get moving.
Yeah, I actually meant to hop in the Mako, not chat with you. Sorry, Rex. Okay, so we'll continue near the edge like this, just to make sure we're catching any and everything that might be in this area. And we did put our marker basically right on the edge. Now we'll start heading up in the northerly direction. Same idea here. See if we can run into anything. And the terrain is certainly uneven, but definitely not the worst we have seen, nor the worst we will see. And that starts to get pretty steep over there, although that might be far enough over to the side that's out of bounds, so to speak, and so might not need to do much to traverse that. It's fine by me. That kinda looks like something over there. Can't tell if that's just sort of discolored ground. It might be, or if that's actually something of some import. Now there is... Hold on. Yeah, we're getting close to this debris. So I think we probably do just make a point of taking a small detour to go over there. And it's basically, like... What, right here? Straight ahead? So what will it be, you ask? Let's go find out. Oh. Okay, it's this. Some kind of probe, it looks like. Crash probe. Let's salvage it. Okay, this one looks considerably more difficult. Like, considerably more difficult. There we go. Okay, combat scanner, high level one at that. That's pretty nice. Fusion explosive. There's a grenade upgrade there. I think we're probably fine with both those things for now. Let's head back in probably this-ish direction again, just sort of trying to keep close to the edge, make sure that we don't have anything that sneaks past us. Of course, that anomaly that or debris that we just ran into was something that we did know existed in advance, so that was never in question. But the magnesium that we found previously, that we did not know about. So we want to keep an eye out for things like that. And of course, you know, there's always the potential for some enemies of some variety, perhaps some bandits like we saw on a previous planet, possibly even pressure maws. Or something entirely different. Occasionally we'll run into, as we did on the Mars mission, not Mars mission, the Moon mission, turrets. It really could be anything. Though not seeing much in the northern section as of yet. Ooh. That does look significant, though. If we're looking straight ahead, my guess is this might even be the... Yeah, that's the main mission. Definitely. So, let's keep along the edge for now, and I think what I generally would like to do is whenever we're on one of these uncharted worlds where we have a bunch of different things we can do, or more generally, we have a lot of exploration that we can do in addition to the things that we already know exist. I would usually, I think, prefer that we make a point of exploring first. That way we can sort of be done with all that stuff. And then once we've done that, we can focus entirely on the mission. You know, sometimes I'm sure we'll break that rule. But as a general rule of thumb, I think it's probably fine. We do see there are certainly signs of enemies. In fact, ones that are currently shooting us with sniper rifles, and we are even technically outside the bounds of the map right now. That did hit us. We do have shields. But the moment, they are not breaking through those shields, so kind of fine with this. Now, I was gonna say, it might have enough stuff in between us and them that they're not really gonna hit us anymore, although they're continuing to hit us. I mean, those are sniper rifles. So I suppose, you know, ranged attacks is kind of their thing. Actually surprised Joker has not yelled at us for going near the edge of the world just yet, because we were actually technically outside of it for a little bit there. Now we might be out of range of those snipers, which is a good thing, because our shields are starting to get quite low, and now they've had time to get back up to full, so that's part of the reason why I was terribly concerned about it, because shields will recharge. The life on the Mako, less so on that. That requires repair. But we do see now that we have some stuff for us to check out here. Where exactly? Oh, a couple things even. I think we already knew about this question mark here, but we didn't know about whatever this perhaps rare mineral might be. My guess is that's what this is going to be. Yeah, it's a thorium, did that say? Yeah, thorium deposit. Let's check it out.
Take cover!
Excuse me? Oh, we have to do it from this angle? Also, there may or may not actually be enemies here. I'm not really sure who or what Rex and Garrus are firing at right now, because I certainly don't see anything. But they may be convinced that there is something, and that may be why the game is currently not allowing me to actually investigate. Okay, well, apparently now they're fine, except now, as soon as I step forward, they are once again concerned about who knows what. This is strange. I also tried to hop back into the Mako to see if there was actually anything, and it is not letting me go back into the Mako. So this is starting to feel rather bugged. Let me like pause, unpause. Out of curiosity, where's our most recent save? It's an autosave, I think, when we initially got here. This is so basically, I can't interact with anything. In short, I can't go back into the Mako. I can't survey this thorium deposit. And then, as soon as we move forward, Rex and Garrus are shooting at ghosts. So, I don't know what the deal is there, but let's maybe... Oh, okay, the game does really think we're in combat. Because there you saw the save button was grayed out.
I think we're good, Shepard.
But we just back up. Now they're convinced we are no longer in combat. So now we save. And we'll reload this save. And my hope is that by doing this, whatever is going on, we can make it go away. Without having to just completely redo this planet. I mean, we haven't done much here yet. Mostly just exploration, but it'd be nice to not have to redo that. So let's see. Hopefully this will be fine as soon as we go this route here. So, let's just maybe hop in the Mako first. Okay, we can go in the Mako, so that's a good sign. Can I actually interact with this? Yes. Okay, also a good sign. For an opening. Here it is. Nice. Okay. So, fortunately, does seem as though it was just a little bug there that we were able to circumvent fairly easily. No lasting damage, I don't believe. Okay, so this is rather steep. Try climbing this from an angle. Because physics. Not a problem. So now we'll head for this question mark up here. Or at least, I assume it's up here. What actually is it? Well, it may actually be quite a bit further down, to tell you the truth. Hopefully we don't need to go back up there. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit of a pain. Okay. Sure. That looks like loot of some variety. It is a crate. Tsunami? I think that's a good assault rifle there. And actually an Omni tool as well. Those are very rare. So let's take a second here. So Omni tools, because I think this is actually our first new Omni tool, is specifically for characters with tech-based powers. So that includes us, Garrus, Caden, and Tally. They have access to the Omni tools. No one else will. They are, well, pieces of gear that are generally targeted toward your tech-based abilities. So you'll see, for example, here, tech cooldown bonus would be an upgrade we can get from switching over to this. However, our existing Omni tool actually has a little bit of a shields bonus and a little bit of a med charge bonus. What do we prefer here? So I would say, in this case, basically means if we were to switch, it'd be more of an offensively oriented decision, whereas our existing one is a little bit more defensively oriented. Like I said, it is, based on how this is our first new Omni tool we've found, certainly one of the more unusual and rarer types of gear for you to pick up. Similarly, there is also a biotic amp, which is basically the equivalent for biotic-based abilities, and in this case, that means only characters that have access to biotic abilities will have the biotic amp as an equivalent item. So that would be us, Rex, Liara, and Caden for that. And we haven't found any new ones of that. So, do we have a preference here? Let's just check. I assume Garrus has also a blue wire tool number 1 for his, his Omni tool. Okay, so, I mean, we could put this on Garrus, have him use his abilities more frequently, although his tech abilities are rather weak at the moment because we absolutely focused on the combat-oriented things and left us for more of the tech and biotic abilities, generally speaking. So, I mean, it's mostly a matter of personal preference, so not totally sure I'd love it, but let's switch over, I suppose, because why not? Okay, so that was actually not the question mark. Question mark is further down here. It's like this, whatever this is. Got some random crates, and then, oh, an Asari capsule. Okay, let's recover the artifact. I like this angle. But there are a lot of obstacles here, unless I can make this work. Huzzah! Matriarch's writings recovered. It's not clear who lived here, but it appears to have been abandoned for some time. The container in the tent held, among other things, one of Matriarch Delinaga's writings. That gives us more experience and more monies. That's definitely a good find. Let's just make sure there's not any other little crates here for us to loot, because there were definitely some of those, but I think we're in the clear now. And that's an unusual place to be having a secretive base, seeing as how this is a hazardous planet. And unless you got the special armors, not terribly hospitable. Alright, maybe said matriarch did have such armors, in which case it was no big deal. But, you know, perhaps not, in which case I can't help but question as to whether this is the place to have set up shop. Just casually tumble down the mountain. Mako don't care. So I think we're probably going to be getting fairly close to the southern edge now. And that'll be fairly close to where we landed initially on this planet. Oh, except looky here. Good thing we did go this far. So there is absolutely still something else here, and it is right in the corner. And so, all the more reason to be thorough, like this. Let's see, where exactly are you? You up here in this little corner? little bit further up in this direction. That's actually kind of hard to get up to, to tell you the truth. There we go. Let's check it out. Oh, hold on. I had the opening and then I went in the wrong direction. There we go. Okay. So we get more stuffs. And let's hop in and let's just take a quick peek at our map here. Get a sense to where we have and have not been. So yeah, we did basically the entire perimeter. I mean, we haven't done like this exact spot just before we came up. And then we haven't really done the interior yet, but that should mean that, you know, you probably can't see it, but we're on top of this surveyed uranium deposit right now. So we're in the bottom left corner. So if we more or less just go straight over to the stronghold here, the main objective location, then in doing so, we cover much of the ground that we've not yet seen. So, I did not mean to do that. So, for that reason, should be pretty good to do that. I mean, we can deviate a little bit, of course, because we won't see everything along the way. Still be a little bit of stuff, a little bit of ground we didn't cover. Like I said, there's a little bit more. We go further eastward here before we head to the spot where we landed on this planet initially. It's probably maybe just over this little cliff we've got here, this hill. Probably right around here-ish. But then if we head up north from here, and maybe just keep our eyes peeled to the east and west a bit, I think in that case we'll have seen just about everything here. So I'm going to deviate a little bit in this direction for that purpose, just to make sure. Like, is that the place where we were previously? I don't think so. I think this is just a random little, well, I don't even know what to call this, because there is not much to it. Just a little bit of cover, but that's all. Doesn't look like anything to loot, but it's there. It exists. And at this stage, we're pretty darn close to the edge of the map, so we've certainly been there. Let's head back a little bit further to the east. And of course, we know there are some snipers, actually, potentially a lot of snipers, based on how much we were getting hit when we were driving past that stronghold area previously. It's going to be a little bit tough for us to take them out, because, well, at least from a crewmate standpoint, that is Garrus's specialty, but that is not Rex's specialty, and it's not our specialty. So I think that either means we rely heavily on Garrus, or we, to the extent possible, try to snipe some of those guys with the Mako instead. Now this time I'm going to overcompensate a little bit to the east, just to see if there's anything here that we might have missed. But that is, of course, one of the spots that we went to previously. We've been to that X already. And we can start to see some red dots showing up on our map here. That does mean we're getting close. Now you can see the exclamation point. So we know they have pretty ridiculous range with those snipers. Pretty ridiculous range. In fact, let's save here just in case we end up stepping out of the Mako, trying to snipe them on foot, and then find ourselves being the ones that get sniped. So what is our preferred angle here? Because I'm thinking there's this elevation here. I think they're basically below this, on the other side of this little mountain, I suppose. So this could be a decent spot. I'm thinking it may be. Yeah, like there are some sniper towers there, I think. So let's see. Pull out the weapons. Let's make sure Garrus in particular, yeah, is on the sniper rifle. I mean, not going to make much of a difference. Really, Rex? Rex on the sniper? I mean, you can try. We could try as well, but I don't think it's really going to do much. Garrus is really the only one that I think is going to succeed here. But let's at the very least just do this to see what we're dealing with. Yeah, that's the stronghold. think that's basically the roof. These, I think, are sniper towers, and those guys may or may not see us. So I'm going to try, at least initially, going with the Mako sniping strategy. Because I think this is going to give us a little more firepower. One down. That worked, but we probably do have their attention. Just look at all the red dots. There are a lot of enemies here. And so previously, before Legendary Edition came out in the original Mass Effect... Okay, yeah, we are getting hit. In the original Mass Effect, you did get more experience for defeating enemies on foot than you did by defeating them in the Mako. However, they changed that in Legendary Edition. In Legendary Edition now, you get the same amount of experience whether you're in the Mako or whether you're on foot. So for that reason, there's no reason not to try this. I mean, the Mako is certainly tankier than any of us are. Okay, I can't really see the other... Well, there are a bunch of them, like, directly below us, all clustered. I was looking at the sniper towers first, but if we could just drop one of the big rockets on those guys, I think that would be our best way to do a lot of damage. I got rid of one of them. I think we'll just kind of, you know, keep on poking our heads out here. And wait for him to come back and do some of that. And, you know, even if we can't snipe everyone with Mako like this, just reducing their numbers, and I think we've already done that to a decent extent, certainly make things more straightforward for us if/when we do try going down there on foot. At this point, it looks like we might even cut them in half, if not more. Number of people they have, let's see. Who is left here? Oh, there's this person in the sniper tower that we have missed. Not so fast. Not so fast, I say. Have we dealt with sniper tower over here? We have not, have we? Based on how they are currently trying to snipe us. And we got... Let's see. Hold on. Got that tower, got that tower. There may only be one person left here. So I'm not currently seeing them. I would kind of like for them to try to shoot at us right now, so that way I can at least get a sense as to where exactly they are. Because right now it's kind of tough to say. They might be kind of stationed right in front of the base there. Looks like there might be some cover there. That's my guess. So let's move in. And we can either take it out with Mako or get out on foot. Now they're starting to try to shoot at us. Yeah, here they are. Okay, got rid of one of them. And for this guy, this might be the last person. Let's have some fun with it. One other thing we can do with Mako that I'm not sure we've done yet. Excuse me, sir. 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 You are no more. Except they are. Hold on. They took some damage, but they just tanked that. In fact, now they're healing. They got some, what is it? The immunity ability, I think is what we saw them use there. Okay, we've run them over again, but they are, in fact, still alive. This pirate is crazy tanky. Now he's dead and away he goes. Wow. Okay.